you come with the most with?
I definitely say my hit tool. I definitely think that's my most polished tool and my most mature tool. And then not too far behind it is I think my power, and I would say speed.
John Mioli with the Baltimore Sun.
Colton, congratulations. We saw the event you had going on there with back in your hometown. What's it like to have this moment finally happen and get your chance to just become a pro and get this journey?
Yeah, it's a dream come true. I've dreamed about this, and my family's invested a lot into me. They've sacrificed a lot of time, and just to be able to spend it with friends and family means the world to me.
Nathan Ruiz with the Baltimore Sun. Go ahead.
Hey, Colton, congrats. You mentioned Mike Elias calling you. The Orioles put out a video where it seemed like you actually called him. Can you kind of just take us through what was happening there and what it was like to get that phone call?
Yeah, I actually got a phone call, and it was from a I didn't have the number, so I was told not to answer if I didn't have the number, and it was ended up being him. So then I gave him a call right back. So just a little miscommunication there, but that's how it went down.
Next up is Dan Connolly with The Athletic.
Colton, heading into today, where did you go? Where's the most likely place that you would end up, did you think?
I don't really know. I mean, I think that, I was kind of in the mix, mid to late first, and then early teens, I would say.
Next up is Jason Bristol with KHOU TV.
Hey, Colton, congratulations, man. Hey, I know this is like your dream come true and all the excitement, but what's it like when you see your good buddy, still sitting there and the draft keeps going on and on and on? What was that like for you, and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I think Ty would like to have gone a little bit earlier, and the waiting time was definitely kind of stressful, but I just wanted to be there for him, and we make each other better, and I'm really proud of the guy, and I'm really looking forward to compete against him. How about that?
Josh Criswell with the Huntsville Item. Go ahead.
Hey, congrats, Colton. The Orioles rated as one of the top farm systems in all of baseball. How excited are you to kind of be a part of an organization with a lot of young talent, kind of have the chance to build something special these next few years?
What's up, Josh? And I'm really excited. I think that they develop players really well, and I definitely think the whole front office and scouting department is doing a really great job, and I'm really excited that they think that I they see me as a good piece for their organization.
Joe Trezza, MLB.com.
Hey, Colton, who was there for you tonight? Where were you? And of all the people there for you, who's been the most influential on your in your baseball career? Yeah,
I guess we were over here in Cypress at a I guess you'd say a bar called Creekwood Grill, and I had a bunch of friends and family, high school teammates, college teammates, and then a lot of friends and family. But the most influential person on my career has to be my parents, and then I would say my hitting coach Sid Holland back here at home.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX.
Hey, Colton, it's been a few hours, but has it really sunk in yet? You're a top 5 pick, and were you surprised at all going that high?
No, I'm not gonna lie. It probably won't hit me for a couple days, but I'm not surprised. I mean, not saying that arrogantly, but I think that the way the MLB draft plays out, you never know what's going to happen.
And
Brendan Moore. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
Sorry, if I could do a quick follow-up. Colton, just what does it mean for, to represent Sam Houston? You're the highest Bearcat ever being picked in the draft, just to represent a school like Sam Houston.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I think Sam Houston did a great program. They've been producing a lot of talent over the years, and it really is just a winning program. And, for them to give me the opportunity to come in and play and develop meant the world to me. And, it'll be fun still rocking the black and orange.
Brendan Mortensen with Mass and All Access.
Hey, Colton, congratulations. You put up good power numbers in college, but you don't have a ton of loft to your swing. How do you think your power is going to translate at the next level?
Yeah, I think that it'll definitely be interesting, but I definitely think that the way my swing plays, I think that it'll definitely it'll still happen. But definitely looking to get more consistent with my approach and my power approach. How about that? But I'm not too worried about it.
Next up is Randy McElvoy with Channel 2 Houston.
Hey, congratulations. Just to follow up, if you don't mind, Houston area's produced so much talent for decades. What was it about your experience there at Cy Ranch playing for Coach Cephas alongside guys like Ty and other teammates that prepared you for this moment tonight, you think?
Yeah, I think that, it's awesome that we're able to have this much talent over here and, we're able to compete at a high level. And I think that the biggest thing for me was, it kind of taught me how to compete, against all these great athletes, great competition over here in the Cypress area. So, from early age, it, really taught me to kind of, how to get after it in the game between the lines and, really get out there and compete.
Jason Barfield with the Bearcat Sports Network.
Hey, Colton, congrats. So going to the Baltimore Orioles, how does it feel to be hooking back up with another former Bearcat, getting to play with Jordan Cannon again?
Yeah, he already texted me. I actually got to have lunch with him this past week, and so we'll see what happens. I'm excited if I get to go out this year, but overall, I'm just really excited for the opportunity.
Steve Molesky with MASNsports.com.
Colton, do you think the business part of this could move fast and you could get out playing pretty soon? Do you have a sense of it?
No, sir. I don't have a sense of it right now. Still just trying to, comprehend it. It's been, it happened kind of quick right now. So, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure pretty shortly.
All right. Any more questions? All right. Thanks so much for joining us, Colton, and congratulations again.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe.
All right, we can get started. We will begin with a statement from Orioles Executive Vice President and General Manager Michael Elias.
Thank you. Yeah, as we all saw, we're very pleased to have selected Colton Cowser with our first-round draft pick this year, 5th overall. Colton has been and is one of the best pure hitters in the country since setting foot on campus at Sam Houston. All-American, Team USA, year after year, and this year put up a superlative line for them, showing power, hitting for average, speed, defense. He's a 5-tool player, and he's somebody that we project to impact our team and our lineup on both sides of the ball, both offensively and defensively. I think it's rare to get those type of physical tools and all 5 of them in a college performer like we just did. So that's why we took him. It's a very exciting start to our draft.
Thank you, Mike. With that, we will open it up to questions. Just a reminder to media to please enter your name in the chat if you have a question. And first up is Rock Kubatko.
Mike, when did you know for sure that Cowser was going to be your guy, if he was still on the board, and how tempting were the high school shortstops that were still there?
Yeah, we didn't know until after Boston completed its pick what exactly we were going to do. And, you always wait for that. And there was always a chance that he was their pick as well. This was and it has been analyzed and written about as a good draft class, but rather bunched up in talent from 1 all the way to 10 and 12 in the draft. A lot of similarities and different rankings across different teams by those players. As you can see, there've been some surprises already in the couple picks since we've picked. We're still monitoring what's going to go on going forward. But Cowser's a guy that we were very, very high on, especially as the spring got going and the surge in power that he was showing and the consistency at the plate. I think one thing that's just really rare with him, especially in today's game, is the hit for average tool and the power without striking out. He's an elite contact hitter. He uses the whole field. And like I said, he runs and throws and plays center field and plays it well. And he's just really able to do it all. And those type of profiles are hard to find, especially with the certainty that an elite college performer provides. So, that's why he was viewed by the industry as the top of the first round talent, and we pounced on him.
Next up is Rich Dubrov.
Mike, how important is was the pick in that you again went for a college guy for the third straight year? Does that make a real difference to you? You know, picking a college guy over a high school guy.
It depends on the players. I mean, you know, you do. We have all types of data about the draft, and we study the heck out of the draft. And you know, these elite college performers over and over are surprisingly good when you look back at past drafts, and you're amazed that they didn't go higher sometimes. And that has continued to be a lesson of history year after year, and we're very mindful of that. But I've been a part of a lot of high picks. We've taken high school hitters many times with those high picks. We've taken college hitters. It just depends, and it depends on the evaluation. And unfortunately, when you're picking high, you only get one pick because you like a lot of these guys, and you have to pick one player. You can't take more than one home. So we got our guy, very pleased about that. But you know, there were a lot of players in this draft, and there's still a lot of players on the board that we really, really like, and we'll see where this goes next round.
John Mioli, go ahead.
Mike, you mentioned what Colton's done since he got on campus. How far back do you go with him personally, and what are your earliest impressions of him?
Not very. You know, he was on I believe it's a Cypress Ranch high school team that now that he's gone in the first round has had like 4 first rounders on the team, a couple of high school pitchers that went early. So elite high school baseball in Houston, but he was young and skinny and not really a pro guy coming out of high school, even though he was all state as a hitter, and then went to college and filled out a little bit and just started raking. I mean, this guy rakes, and it was a name that you heard right away as a freshman that was going to be an elite player in the country, and he's done that. And you know, he's gotten to this point with a lot of hard work, and he's got a lot of projection ahead of him still. This isn't a totally finished product.
Next question is from Nathan Ruiz.
Mike, where do you see Colton playing defensively, and what have you seen from him just in general on that side of the ball?
Well, he's a center fielder, and you know, we'll send him out as a center fielder this summer, and he projects to stay in center field. Obviously, we have a really good center fielder on our team right now, but the beauty of that position and any up the middle position is you can slide around if needed, and can't have too many center fielders. So he's a great defensive player in all 3 outfield spots. But he can play center, and that's a big part of his skill set.
Dan Connolly, go ahead.
Mike, this is the second consecutive year you've taken a guy who's obviously highly regarded, but maybe not considered in the top 5 in the industry. Last year it was done. There was an underslot situation to that. Is this an underslot situation in your mind? And how do you see that playing out maybe throughout the rest of the draft?
Well, look, whatever we end up signing him for, we'll sign him for. And obviously from the club side, you want to preserve as much capital for the rest of the draft as possible, but you take the guy that you want to take. And that's what we did here. This was our player at 5. And so that's the most important thing, I think, for our draft and the way we've approached it wherever I've been. But you know, you do work your bonus pool in this day and age, and that's what happens. But you know, the draft is it's always evolving. You know, just before I came up here, there were a couple picks that we weren't expecting. Teams have a lot of proprietary information nowadays that aren't available to the public and the media, and you know, it makes for differences based on what's out there. So you know, I'm sure there'll be more surprises later tonight, and we're going to be poised to be as aggressive as possible, signing good talent that's still on the board for the next few picks.
Joe Trezza, go ahead.
Mike, just following up on the surprises, you know, to us, the top 4 picks, it seemed like there were some surprises, but how surprising was it to you? And how many guys on your final, you know, 5, like list of 5 finalists or were available when you guys were picking?
There were a lot of guys left that were sort of in our finalist group, but we had Cowser over them. You know, so we took him, but there are other players that we would have been pleased with had Cowser been gone, and we had put the work in and prepared to take him. And that's just how it goes. I can't say I was surprised. Davis going #1 to the Pirates was not sort of the favored thing to happen all day. So it was like a little bit of a surprise, but I certainly get it. And I think it illustrates, the value placed on these dominant college hitters, which he is. And it definitely made for a little more suspense for the next 3 picks than we were already expecting, which was going to be a good bit.
Next up is Alexis Brudnicki with Baseball America.
Hi, you mentioned kind of like working your bonus pool, and I know you already talked about the surprises, but how much work is done with your area scouts, cross-checkers, whoever it might be on that signability when you are looking for that flexibility?
Yeah, I mean, the area scouts do so much there because often what you're told isn't ultimately what ends up being the case, especially with high school players or junior college players, their number of signability number before the draft can change as the draft goes along. And so the scouts kind of having a feel for the situation, their instincts about how motivated a player is to sign or not, it's just huge. So as we get going here, we feel very well equipped to make some aggressive moves here as we go along, but we got to see who's left on the board after tonight. We don't have any more picks tonight, and we don't start again until tomorrow.
If I may just quickly follow up on that, has it made any noticeable difference? Maybe not yet, but with the signing deadline being closer now, with the draft being later on?
Yeah, it's going to be weird. Honestly, I don't even know what the signing deadline is this year, but it's going to be really fast. So it used to be months, and it just keeps getting shorter and shorter. Which is good. I mean, we want these guys to get out and play this summer if at all possible. Last year we couldn't do that because of the pandemic. But we want to get these guys out and signed, and hopefully without much drama.
Thank you.
Steve Molesky, go ahead.
Mike, we hear over and over again, you don't draft for need. Having said that, Kumar Rocker, elite performer, elite conference for a couple seasons. Was that tempting? And following that up, did you see things from him this year that gave you any pause?
Yeah, all these guys are tempting. I mean, these are really good players. As I said, it's a huge decision at the top of the draft. It's very tough. That there are going to be several impact all-star big leaguers coming out of the pool of guys that you're selecting, and you're trying to do something to give yourself the best odds to get one of those. And so there are a lot of players. I wish we could have taken 7 guys this year, but you couldn't. You got to pick one. And yeah, we don't draft for need. The baseball draft is very challenging. On it, we try to just make a good pick. That's what our goal is. We want hopefully an impact player, and the draft is fraught with a lot of risk. And so we're trying to get value out of these picks as much as possible. And it is a factor to us that one of the relative strengths on our big league roster right now is in the outfield. But you look in our farm system, and we have a lot of good pitchers. We have a lot of good infielders. We have a catcher in the farm system that we're excited about. So again, it's hard to worry too much about the composition of your current personnel when you're trying to make a pick. And as I said with Colton Cowser, with him being a middle of the diamond player, he's going to be able to play in all 3 outfield spots, and his bat's going to profile in all 3 outfield spots. So when he joins this team, hopefully in the next couple of years, if all goes well, we're going to have some options there.
Stan Charles, go ahead.
Mike, real quick, you mentioned that you thought he was a great defensive outfielder. Would you rate his arm as a plus arm, and who is a comparable to you with Colton Cowser? Thank you.
Thanks. I think that he has a 55 arm on the 2880 scouting scale. So we'd call that an above average arm. I think some scouts might call it better than that. But I feel really good calling it that. It's a real clean, technically correct, accurate throwing motion. And it's an arm that should play in right field if he's ever playing right field.
All right. That is all the questions we have. Thank you so much for joining us, Mike.
Thank you. See you later.